Arnold, how you doing, man? I know you're kind of like an adopted Canadian a little bit, so how's it feel to be here for this big event?
Yeah, it's awesome. I was really surprised at the amount of people that came out to see me at one of the meet and greets. I didn't think I had that many Canadian fans, but yeah, it's really cool.
That's awesome. Just how are things? I mean, coming off a fight, looking for a fight. Where are you at right now?
Yeah, definitely, yeah, looking for a fight. I was hoping to fight December time, but that's not realistic at this point. I'm heading over to the PI after this to fix a couple of injuries, but it shouldn't be anything major. Hopefully get out the first quarter next year. So,
Is it a little annoying watching this event tonight, seeing that knees to the grounded opponent, that rules change? I know there was a lot of made of it of the fight with Mobstar.
Yeah, it is what it is. But it's funny that I thought, is that the reason they brought me out, to like unveil the rules or something? I'll be the guy to announce it. But it's funny, whatever.
Yeah, I know. I think you had said in another interview after Yair Rodriguez spoke to one of our reporters, Farah Honey, and he kind of mentioned you as a matchup of interest, maybe from Mexico City. Is that something you feel could be realistic for you?
Yeah, it'd be a great fight, but I heard they're going to London in March as well. The altitude in London is great, so
Yeah.
that logistically that would be a lot better.
Yeah, what do you think of just Yair at this point? Obviously, he's being interim champion and stuff. We know he's got a very unique style as well. How do you think that fight would go?
I think I'd win it, but guy's very good. He's been at the top for a long time. He hasn't been the champion, but he's been around that. He's been sniffing around that area for the whole time, and he's so dangerous. You can never count him out, and he's elite. And I think I'm up there too, and I think that kind of fight would prove it.
Yeah, and speaking of the top of the division, we just saw what Ilya Topuria did last weekend. How impressed were you by his performance, or maybe not?
Yeah, very good. To be honest, I felt style-wise, I felt like he would get the win, and I wasn't too surprised he was able to knock him out. Max was leaving very tall. When he was coming out of the exchanges, he was coming out with his head in the air, and I didn't like it. And also, he's got the most significant strikes received, and that's going to add up. As tough as he are and as much of a warrior as he is. But also, Ilya, credit to him. Accurate, hits hard. He said he was going to do it, and he did it.
Yeah, and I know you'd love to get that rematch with Max one day, but he announced today 45 is done for him. He's going to be a 55er from now on. Does that disappoint you a little?
No, always the goal is whoever's got the title, and that's what I want. And if he hasn't got the title and he's going up to 55, then whatever.
Who do you, beside yourself, who do you think has the best chance of dethroning Ilya? Because I think a lot of people are maybe worried for Volk after seeing what he did. Diego Lopez, who do you think has the best chance?
Yeah, beside myself. A lot of people were saying that, like fans and stuff, like, oh, who's going to want to fight him now? Like, we're not in this business because we want to avoid people. I want to fight the best guys in the world, and I feel like I match up pretty good with him. But yeah, Volk, you can't count him out. I'd like to see him not 8 weeks after getting knocked out, with some confidence and all these things. But now Ilya's presence is going to grow even more. Volk fought Max, how many was it, 3 times? 3 times he couldn't do that. So maybe that's going to play on his mind even more.
Arnold, I'm just curious if you think moving to 155 is the right move for Max. I mean, he just got knocked out, and they're not going to hit any less hard up there. Not saying his chin is gone, but do you feel it's the right move?
Yeah, I think so. Like at this point of his career, I think he really struggles cutting down to 45. I think he always has. I don't know if he gets in bad shape after a fight or gets big. I know he gets big, but we all do. But I don't think necessarily it's the power that people are punching, right? It's how much you're draining yourself. It's the impact that's having on yourself, not the power. You can get hit by anyone. It still sucks. But if you're drained, it hurts more.
The other thing Max always says is that, he doesn't really spar anymore, so he's not taking those shots in the gym. How much credence do you put into that?
I think he started sparring when he fought me. That's what I heard, so I think he's sparring. I think he is sparring now. But I've heard of people doing it, but I'm not a big fan of it. Maybe if you like sparring, play sparring, but I don't know.
Last one. When you look at Ilya Topuria, does he have what it takes to be a long-term champ like a Max Holloway, like a Volkanovski, like an Aldo?
Yeah, like look who he just beat. He beat back-to-back. He beat Volk and Holloway with knockouts. Yeah. Those guys are around the top for forever, and no one can beat those guys. So he definitely can be. But I think there's always new people coming. You know, always people gunning for different matchups. Once you get figured out, you're figured out. You know. Cool.
Hi, Arnold.
So.
Obviously, coming off the losses of Max and Movsar as well, look, you were really close in that Max fight, and obviously Movsar was a close fight too.
Yeah.
MMA moves really quickly. I mean, if results had went your way, you would have been trusting yourself up into a title shot. It must have been a bit of a pressure coming in against Giga in June or July when you took him on over in the UK to get that win.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, the pressure's good. It's what brings out the fire. You know, it makes you 10% better in all aspects. But especially with the Movsar loss, in my head, I didn't feel. Obviously, you go out there, you get dominated, you get ragdolled, you get knocked out. You're probably going to feel pretty shit about yourself. But I felt like the fight went great. You know, I felt like I deserved the win, and obviously the stupid issue with the knees. So I didn't really go back and sit there and look at anything too much. You know, I didn't sit there and. I was a bit depressed because I was injured with like a injury from the camp. Then obviously having a loss and missing out, getting back in the picture. But yeah, it is what it is.
Did you find it hard to adjust to the time change over there for that card?
Oh yeah, I had a nightmare. Like after the last sparring for the camp, I crashed my car into a barrier. I was half asleep like after sparring. I driving home, and then well, I was fine, but. My car was not. I didn't hit anyone, so that's good. And but yeah, and then like I didn't sleep I did the weight cut, and then I didn't sleep until like the Monday after the fight because I just it was fucked up. So yeah, I did the weight cut. I had like 4 hours sleep, and then I think it was like 36 hours until I fought. I was like taking cold showers before the fight. I was like doing espresso shots, like slapping myself. Yeah, I was freaking out. Yeah.
I mean, that kind of tells me that if an opportunity like that came around again, would you hesitate in taking a fight at like all hours of the morning?
I mean, for the right opportunity, it's worth it, right? But then, you know, certain people sitting there saying the same thing. People maybe lose their championship because they fucked up, and you know, yeah, it kind of sucks.
Who do you think is the name you should be facing next to put yourself into title contention again?
I think the position I'm in, anyone above me, but like Yair's been talked about a lot. Ortega's a guy that's been talked about. After Holloway, I asked for Yair or Ortega. You know, there was never any sort of sniff of anything, but you know, Yair mentioned it, so I'm sure they're looking more realistic now.
I know you're a bit of a foodie as well, Arnold. Have you been trying the local cuisine here? I know you're kind of familiar with Canadian cuisine anyway.
I don't know if there's much cuisine going on around Edmonton. I don't want to slander the place, but I haven't really found much great cuisine. Maybe the beers. I don't know. This seems to be a good drinking culture. I like that's fun.
Thank you, Arnold.
No worries.
Last one. How long are we planning to grow the mullet here?
I don't know. It's actually starting to get annoying at the back. It's like tickling the back of my neck. So that's usually when I have a haircut. Like if the fringe starts tickling my eyebrows, I'm like, right, it's out. But it's hanging on for now. Thanks, guys.